Hey guys! We have some very special guests here. This is Michelle Bransford. And Chantel Byrne. Wait. We are doing a video called Moms and Milkshakes. And basically what that is, I invite moms like me over here and we make milkshakes and we answer questions that you guys have asked. So we're just gonna get started. We have 3 different types of milkshakes that we are going to make from a restaurant in New York City called Black Tap. Ooh. And they are these outrageous milkshakes that have a 5-hour long wait and are usually $15 to $25. And yeah, they're crazy, they're outrageous. I went to the dollar store and got all this junk food for literally $25. So, cost of 1 milkshake, hopefully it can make us a good 3. There are 3 pink envelopes in the front of the table, and we're gonna take turns and we're gonna go get one, and whichever one we get is the one we're gonna try to recreate. So, Michelle, do you wanna go first?
Yeah. Okay, so I just pick it? Pick the middle one.
Ooh. Okay, Chantel, do you wanna pick yours?
Okay. I'll just go.
Okay, this one's mine. Okay, who wants to open theirs first?
I'll open mine first.
Okay.
Okay. Sour power.
Ooh, yeah.
That sounds amazing.
I
am okay with this pick.
The milkshake I have sweet and salty.
Ooh,
Yes, I chose right.
I'm making cotton candy fantasy.
Ooh.
I'm gonna send you guys the links to what you're trying to recreate. Good luck.
Yeah, I'm like, oh.
What the heck am I going to do?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna like have a heart attack.
Okay, so that's what we're recreating.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright, there's your cup. There's your cup.
Thank you.
Okay, so what do you need?
Vanilla or something?
Vanilla frosting. And you need
Peanut butter.
Peanut butter.
I'm not an artist. Don't let me fool
Well, like,
you.
here in Albuquerque, there we have that like art attack place.
Oh my gosh.
Someone.
Oh my gosh, guys! They're super generous. Taking our first question. Was baby planned? Let's take it away.
I mean, for me, yes. So my daughter's name is Diana Jean. She's 3 years old, and she's actually adopted. So we started the process of adoption with her before she was born, and it was a really rocky road, but we have her. She's amazing. We're so blessed by her. But the answer to the question, was she planned? Not by Biomom, but for us, yes. And we knew immediately upon meeting Biomom that she was our baby. So, super planned for us.
My daughter, her name's Berkeley, and she's a year old, and she was definitely not necessarily planned, but we kind of were at that stage in life where we're kind of like, yeah, we're open to it, and so we kind of just gave it to the Lord, and then a month later we found out we were pregnant. So yeah.
So Paxton was not necessarily planned, but it was like kind of like the same thing. We were like, we just stopped not trying, and we were like, whatever God has in store, like that's what's gonna happen. He knows when we're gonna be ready for a baby. And then like a week later, I was pregnant, and we were like, oh my gosh, everyone was like, it'll take such a long time for you to get pregnant. You don't know if you can even get pregnant. It'll take forever. I was like, a week later, I was like, excuse me, what? God was like, you want a baby? I'm gonna give you a baby.
Yeah, that's
pretty good.
Mine's so pretty. Yeah, mine's, I could push mine back on. We put too much.
I had a little mishap. For some reason, I was like, in the ingredients they're like, use chocolate pearls. And I was like, no, I can just use bubble gum. You can't just use bubble
It's a little
It
heavy.
completely fell off. So I improvised and I used some pixie stick dust and it looks great.
It does.
It does. Like, it looks like cotton candy.
Okay,
So
well, now we're actually going to make our milkshakes. Michelle's making a cherry one and Chantel is making a chocolate one and I'm making a strawberry one. So let's go do that. Because for some reason my stuff isn't just working out today. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now we're just gonna basically pour our smoothies in. We're gonna start pulling questions and decorating. So let's do.
The question is, or it's actually finished the sentence. Other people's advice is well-meaning. Not always wanted, but well-meaning nonetheless.
I've come to realize that other people's advice is not advice unless asked.
I've come to realize that other people's advice is taken at precaution.
Yeah,
with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I think it's just you using your own common mom sense and what you feel is right.
Because ultimately mom knows best of each kid.
Yes.
Like I feel like God has instilled in us that we know our kids better than anyone else.
Every child is different.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can't imagine, like, even if we decide to have kids or adopt again, like, I cannot imagine me being the same with the next kid.
My question is, have you ever been embarrassed by your child? And actually, I just had this happen to me yesterday. It's just one of those moments where you have like a screaming baby and you're in a restaurant and you're like, oh, I just chose to remain calm because that's very hard for me to do because I'm very much like a perfectionist and I want, it's a lot of times my children be perfect, everything perfect. So I just chose to remain calm and kind of packed her up and then we just went outside because I was like, I didn't want to interrupt other people, but I felt pretty embarrassed. So
I feel like if you react, they react even more. So it's good. It's so good to stay calm. How does being a mom bring you closer to Jesus? I feel like God really, really teaches you how to have patience. When Eric and I started sleep training Paxton, it was not fun. I would literally sit at the door and just like listen to him cry and I would cry. And Eric would be there supporting me like, we're doing this for a good reason. This is ultimately better for him. But it was really, really, really hard. So like, I feel like all you have as being a mom is Jesus being like, I got this. You do not. Because if I did, it would not work out at all.
That's so good. And probably helped so much in those times when he was just crying and you couldn't do anything about it.
Well, for me, I am such a perfectionist. The Lord has definitely been breaking me of that, especially with my child. I'm starting to see so much of His grace, not only how to like give it, but like how I receive it from my daughter already. Even though I like get upset and I get, you know, irritated or whatever, she loves me despite those things.
So DJ is 3 and it's been dubbed like the 3-nager age, like where she's like a teenager.
Oh yes.
So she's full of sass and wit and hilarity, but I've never been good at apologizing to anyone for anything, regardless of being right or wrong. Like I've never been good at saying I'm sorry. Just the other day, like I kind of freaked out on her. And I had to be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, DJ.
Yeah.
Like I had to bend down to her level and tell her that I'm sorry for being so mean to her. I would have never been able to do that without Jesus. He's taught me so much about forgiveness and love, and he loves her so much, and I see her kindness and her just like she's so genuine, and it's like I see that through her because of him, and it's just so cool that I've been able to experience that. Like, sorry about the tear, guys. There's a tear in there.
That is amazing.
I love it.
I can't wait, guys. I feel like I've only had like a little bit of like experiences with Paxton, but I'm so excited for him to be able to like talk and for me to like teach him about Jesus.
Yeah.
I know. I'm eating everything, guys. So. Me?
Oh my gosh. Oh, maybe I'll talk. Let.
Yes.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh yes, I have sticks.
Just like break it in half.
Okay, like stick?
Or maybe don't even break it in half.
Oh yeah, that's
So that it's like super tall.
Yeah.
Maybe break it in half. There you go. Ta-da! These are the final products, guys. I mean, I think they look pretty good.
I think so.
I think so
Would
too.
you guys pay $15 for these milkshakes? Come pay us right now.
Oh, pay us $15 to make it. Yes, he would.
Yes, he would. Honestly though, this was a lot harder than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah.
This part,
It took a little bit.
There were some trial and errors, but I think overall
we overcame.
Success.
Persevered and,
Yes.
I mean, look,
Success.
judge for yourself.
Like, we're gonna actually enjoy these now, so we're gonna keep answering questions.
Okay, my turn.
Yes, your turn. Ooh, okay, you're in the store and your cart is full. Baby starts crying frantically. What do you do? I think it depends on what they're crying about. I witnessed this happen to somebody else. The baby was like 4 or 5 and they were asking if they could go somewhere and the mom said no and he just screamed in her face, literally right in her face, no tears, eyes open, just screamed at her. And she was like, okay, you can go. And I was like, Eric was like across the room and I just made eye contact with him and I was like, and we just had a mutual understanding, never.
So I think you kind of raised something that's like really like controversial, I feel like, in today's day and age about
Spanking or
spanking and discipline. Yeah.
So it's interesting. So whenever we adopted DJ, we had this program come to our house once a month, every single month for 2 years. My daughter was born. She was born exposed to drugs, and so they like wanted to make sure that her development was okay, and so it was like an important thing for them to be there. But when she was 2, they're like, okay, and how's discipline going? And I mentioned, it was like, yeah, well, we spank her if she needs it, but she is physical touch, so we try to stay away from it. Like her love language, she's physical touch, so we try not to do it often, but there are times where she needs to be spanked, and they're like, okay, we don't know about spanking, and maybe there are other things, and it's just like a really scary subject for some people. But I think, again, you're gonna know your kid on what kind of discipline they need, and spanking isn't always the right answer all of the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Or maybe you just choose not to.
Exactly. I feel like there's like a lot of like mom shaming going around, and it's like if you decide not to spank but you still know how to discipline your kid, that's okay. Like you don't have to, it's not like a rule that you have to spank your kid to have a good kid. But I also feel like if you decide to spank and you feel like your kid needs it and it works for you, there's nothing wrong with that either. Eric and I believe in spanking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was spanked as a child.
Me too! I was spanked with a spoon. Like a wooden spoon. It was like balls. It was aerodynamic.
My mom had a paddle jar, and like
gosh,
the
yeah.
paddle jar was literally just like where she kept the ladles and everything for cooking, and like to scare us, she'd just like rattle it and run screaming to our rooms.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. My mom's was in her closet, so it was her belt.
Oh,
so,
God.
so that was aerodynamic as well. Get that air hole.
Put a little hole. She's like, she's like Indiana Jones over here.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh my gosh.
It's one thing like to spank out of like anger, which for me, that's what I'm not like okay with doing. And I'm not saying I'm sure it's gonna happen because I'm sure that Berkeley will push me to the point sometimes, but I'm gonna try and refrain. But I think that's one thing for me with spanking. It's when it comes out of anger, then that's a little bit, I feel like it's
Not okay.
yeah.
You need to take a breather.
Yeah.
Yes.
My mom used to tell me that when I would like make her really mad to the point where I needed a spanking, that she would send me to my room until she like cooled down and calmed down,
Yeah.
and then she would go and talk with me and like reason with me and tell me why I'm getting a spanking, and then I'd have to get the spanking, and I'd be like, wait, I thought we're cool.
Yeah.
She was there to talk.
Girl, this is like mixed.
Bend over.
It's the worst.
I know. Any food that we hated while being pregnant.
Oh man.
For me, I did love specific foods. And I definitely always craved like spicy and tomato for some reason.
Tomato?
Yeah, it was really weird. So like, I just always wanted like literally tomatoes and salt, or like
Really?
hot Cheetos, or like
Ooh, hot Cheetos.
yes, those are my vices.
Oh my god.
Tomatoes. Yeah. Well, for me, I definitely hated food while I was pregnant. We went on a vacation for a wedding, and they sit down this chicken, and I could like see the
No,
purple
the details that maybe you don't normally like see or something.
And it was on his plate, and I just looked at it, and I looked at it because nobody knew I was pregnant at this point, so I couldn't be like, ew, get that away from me. And I went to the bathroom, and I threw up in that bathroom. I couldn't stand chicken through the rest of my pregnancy. So the next question is, what do you do with your baby all day, like routine-wise? Since I'm a working mom, I don't know what other moms do, and how do you manage to get all the housework done?
You don't.
Yeah, that's the answer.
Yeah.
You don't.
And I feel like that's probably not the answer you want to hear.
I know. Honestly, when people offer to help, like, take it. Like, if they're like, hey, can I do these dishes? Don't be like, no, it's okay. Like, absolutely, can you take out the trash too on your way out? Because I need help. It'll make people feel good too to help you.
They want to.
They like want to be useful.
Yeah, like somebody came over in the first few months of us having DJ, and they organized my closet.
Oh. How dreamy! Oh my god!
That is the word. Yeah. I definitely have more of a routine, like every day, and just having your baby on a sleep schedule definitely allows
Helps.
for that. Yeah,
Yes.
because you can know, okay, between this time and this time, I have this amount of time to, if I need to get like work done from the house, or if I need to make those phone calls, or whatever it is, you have those like couple hours. It's very important for me to get out of the house like once a day, because I hate being home. Like, anyone who knows me knows how much I go crazy. So I kind of have that one thing that I know, okay, we're gonna go out and do XYZ today. And then the time that she's asleep, that's the time that I will do like workout or do my blog or whatever it is. Those are kind of the times that
I feel like it's important to have that too. You have to have mom time to
Yes.
keep your sanity.
Yes.
And yes, you love your baby, you love them so much, you want to be with them all the time. But if you don't have your mom time and your husband and wife time, but I mean like literally just like sitting and talking and hanging out with each other, you're just gonna be, it's hard. So
Yes.
really try to make time for yourself and your husband.
Yes.
And I work 40 hours a week, so we have a babysitter. I think for us, consistency is key, especially for my daughter who really relies on routine. So she has a place that she goes 3 days a week. Yeah, we have a routine for her. It's 3 days a week, and it works out really, really well for us.
Hope that answers your question.
What was it like leaving your little one with a babysitter for the first time?
I cried.
I cried. I cried. And then I cried when I got back to her.
Tears of joy.
Well, I only had 2 weeks with my daughter because I didn't have maternity leave.
No.
I only had 2 weeks with her, and so I went back to work and I dropped her off at the babysitter's, which at the time was her grandparents. And when I came back, oh my gosh, it was the most amazing moment because I came back and I was like, DJ, and that was the first time she lifted her head and looked up at me because she recognized my voice.
Oh, and you're like,
yes.
I'm never leaving you again.
Yeah,
No, we're
like,
never leaving again.
So I'm calling to quit my job right now. But it was hard.
Yeah, I bet. I can't. I cried. That's my story. I cried.
Yeah.
I literally was like, he's probably missing me.
Yeah. Then you come back and you're like
realize.
having a blouse.
Yeah,
You're like, oh,
exactly.
yeah.
His parents sent us a picture, and he's all smiling.
Yeah, thumbs up and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, that was me as well. I think it's hard leaving your baby, but you also know that it's also for your good and their good as well.
Right,
so.
exactly. Okay, so the last question, one piece of advice that we would give new moms.
We want you to feel normal with whatever emotions you're feeling. If you feel like you need to get away from your child, like, don't feel bad about wanting to get away from your child. You need you time. And so take that time. Don't feel bad. We've all felt it. We're just like, I love you, but please leave. Like,
If anything, it makes you a better mom because you get that time to yourself, and then you're able to pour more into your baby.
One thing I've like really noticed for myself is that when I do take that time, like it was so hard for me at first because I was like, I felt almost selfish or like guilty for taking it. But exactly what Kelly's saying, it's like, I feel like I'm 100 times more productive as a mom and just a better mom. Like I'm so much more happy and excitable when I do take that time, even if it's just like 2 hours out of the week. You need it, like, and it's okay. Like, do not feel guilty. Like, that is 100% normal and needed.
You're doing a great job.
Yes, even if you spend an hour away from your kid tonight or whatever, like you're doing a great job.
Or if you want to go on vacation with your husband without your kid, that's okay.
Oh my gosh, that's so hard. It's so hard.
I haven't done it yet.
You have to do it.
Yeah, but it's okay. It's okay. Being a mom, you are automatically made selfless, but sometimes you can be selfish.
Yes. And that's okay.
Yeah. So obviously we like talking to you guys a lot because we only got to like 5 questions. Look how many more there are. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys, I will have both of their Instagrams on here. And Michelle actually does a podcast, so go listen to that. And Chantel has a blog, so go read that. They're so awesome, and I'm so glad that they were able to come and join me and talk and drink milkshakes.
Thanks for having us.
Cheers!